Yeah, g'day everybody. Wade Northhausen here for Billboard Battalion. We're rolling along with our series of live interviews that we're doing with people with regard to the 2025 election, the federal election here in Australia. So we're a little bit behind time tonight, so apologies. We've had some stuff to set up and information to put up. So Derek can speak to some of the things he wants to talk to and put up the evidence, if you like, the documents that he's going to be relying on. So we've got that up and going now. We're 20 minutes late, but anyway, we're here now. So as people know, we're doing a rolling bunch of interviews coming up to the Australian federal election. We generally have been running people who are standing as political candidates. But there's also stuff here that is important, and this is specifically relevant to this election, and I think all elections and the politics of Australia. So we have here tonight Derek Balough from Educate for Freedom. And Derek has, for a long, long time now, been very, very involved in all the political system and speaks to things that are wrong in the court system, the legal system, and in particular, the Constitution, election stuff, writs for elections, and so on. So Derek is incredibly well versed in this stuff. I presented alongside Derek, and I think it was Jerry, probably a couple of years ago. That's how we got to know each other. So what we'll do is we'll throw it to Derek to get on with it. Today is Sunday, the 20th of April, 2025. I'm in downtown Cayuga, North Central Victoria, Australia, and Derek is in Rutherglen, which also is in Victoria. So we might throw to Derek, and Derek can start to talk about the first documents that he wants to bring up and speak to. And I think it's a great thing that we can put these documents up so people can follow it as he's talking. So we might get that going now. So g'day to you, Derek, for a start.
Good evening, Wade. How are you?
Good, mate. Yep, we're in the middle of the battle now. It's raging everywhere. There's a hell of a lot of stuff going on. There's an enormous amount of things happening. This is probably the most, I'm not going to say exciting, but action-packed election I think Australia's ever seen. I can say without doubt the most important one. And, you know, we're seeing a lot of political argy-bargy going on. We're seeing promises broken from candidates. We're seeing different things preferenced. We're seeing all sorts of stuff that's happening. So, and then, of course, we throw into the mix Derek. So that's it's interesting. You know, I talk to a lot of people and have done over the last few years. A lot of people who deal in the Constitution, a lot of people who deal in common law, a lot of people who deal in elections and writs and just everything you can imagine. So, you know, it's very interesting to have you on tonight. And a lot of people might say, well, Derek's not a candidate. Why would you have him on? Because I think that, you know, we need to have a variety of information. We need to put up as many points of view as we can and as much information as relevant to the Australian people. So welcome tonight, Derek.
Thank you for the chance to catch up with you, Wade. Yeah, like you said, it's been a couple of years since we spoke in front of a big crowd in Wonthaggi in southern Victoria. Thank you for the chance to actually show to people this is the most, underlined, the most fraudulent criminal fraud on the Australian people. And I'm going to show you some documents tonight to prove it, which I'm putting in court cases, and the judges don't like them. They don't want this stuff in court cases.
No, of course not. All right, mate. Well, we might throw it to you. We've got our support team around us, I think, at both ends. So let's get this up and pumping, Derek, and you can speak to the things as they come up and keep everybody informed and let them know what we're dealing with and what we're looking at for a start.
Okay, so first of all, Wade, are we looking at the Commonwealth Commonwealth of Australia House of Reps for Queensland?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. First problem I have is on the third line. It says the Commonwealth of Australia in all capitals, and people say, "Well, what's wrong with that?" And you say, "Well, let me explain. We're just going to go through this document step by step." The first, the next line says we have a new commissioner. This is not the same guy who did the elections for the 2022 federal election. That was Thomas Joseph Rogers. He's now been sidestepped, and now we have an acting commissioner to run this election. Okay, no worries. He's been replaced. We scroll down the page, and it says this is for the House of Representatives. This is the document Peter Dutton will rely upon for you to vote for him. So this is his document. So we scroll down to that last box on your screen now. It says witness. This is the paragraph which destroys the election. Can you see? Go up a little bit, please, Wade. Just go up a little bit the screen. Can you hear me, Nick? Nick, can you see the word witness in bold?
Yes.
Scroll down just a bit further. Stop there.
Yep.
Wade,
So it says, yep.
The word witness is very important. It says Her Excellency the Honourable Sam Mostyn, Governor General of the Commonwealth of Australia in first letter capital. The rest is in lowercase. It's not the same Commonwealth of Australia as at the top of the page, which is registered as a company in the United States of America in Washington, D.C. But hold on, why is Sam Mostyn on your screen with her signature on the bottom right? Why is she a witness? This is coming under Section 32 of the Commonwealth Constitution. The Governor General must sign the writs for the House of Representatives. Now, Nick, can I please get you to scroll down maybe a little bit further below that signature? Stop there. That's great.
Yeah.
Don Farrell. Who the heck is Don Farrell? He's a Labor senator from South Australia. He signed your national referendum for the voice last year, or in October 2023, I should say. He is not authorised to sign the writ. It's broken. The Australian Governor-General, Sam Mostyn, who is not recognised by Charlie or the Queen when she was here, she's a public servant. She is the witness. The guy who signs the bottom of the page, Don Farrell, is the one who issues the contract, the writ. Don Farrell has no law in this country to sign the bottom of the page for the House of Representatives for Peter Dutton. Okay?
Yep.
Right. Now let's keep on scrolling down the page. We're going to go on to the next document. And I apologize, it's sideways. This is the document for the senators from Queensland.
Oh, righty. Yep, I see. Okay.
Now, because of time, I couldn't get you the document which is going across the page. If your audience can see, there's the word witness again, and that signature on the left-hand side is Jeanette Young.
Just hang on a second, Derek. We're just trying to get this straightened up a bit.
Fantastic. Great work, Nick.
Okay, yeah, no, Nick is incredible with the great work he does, and we really, I tell you, we'd be lost without both Nick and Bell, I'm here to tell you.
Okay, so we've got that organised, that the witness, and at the top of the screen you'll see the Commonwealth of Australia. Here's the next fraud. Underneath the kangaroo and emu is His Majesty the King. Hold on, can you just scroll up just a little bit, please, Nick? Okay, stop there. Can you see you've got the Commonwealth of Australia with the corporate logo, the kangaroo and emu,
yep.
And underneath it, it's got His Majesty the King. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not the same guy who lives in Buckingham Palace. Who is it? It's a corporation. It's a business name, like McDonald's, like Telstra, like the Commonwealth Bank. It's a business name. It's got nothing to do with Charlie. His name's not even there. Okay. So this is the Senate election writ. This is for people like Pauline Hanson and Malcolm Roberts and all those people in Queensland. This is their paperwork, the senators in the upper house. Now, at the bottom of your screen, there is a wax seal of the state of Queensland logo and Jeanette Young, who is the purported governor of the state of Queensland. She is signing as a witness. This is what Section 12 says of the Commonwealth Constitution. The governor of a state may issue the writ for the senators of an election. But hold on, there's another signature underneath hers, and we don't know who that belongs to. I'm guessing that's the Premier of Queensland, David Crisafulli, the new Liberal Premier, who signed and destroyed the election writ for the senators of Queensland. So what does that mean? Queensland, on this paperwork alone for the previous document and this one, it's null and void. It's a fraud, because the handbook that they all stand under says, oh no, we stand under the Constitution, that the Governor General signs the papers for the House of Representatives and the Governor of a state issues the writ for a senator. I'm showing you the writ, the documents to have the election, on the Australian Electoral Commission website. This is what they're giving to anybody. You can give this out to people and say, this is the fraud that we have to put up with. Okay. Now, can I get you, Nick, to open up the same document or the same file for Victoria? I need to show this for people living in our state.
Pretty unbelievable. While Nick's getting that up there, Derek, this is pretty unbelievable stuff. And for years now, I've dealt with people who talk about in 1973 when old slimy Gough Whitlam got rid of the. Hang on, here we go.
That's just my notice that I gave to people. I was sending out the reason why this document for Victoria, or two documents, are a fraud on our children and our grandchildren. We are stealing their future by voting. This is my position, Wade. And I'm going to give people, after we had a phone call today, I'm going to give you an option. And everyone can make their own decision after I give you my 2 cents worth. So, Nick, can I just get you to scroll to the next page? So while Nick's getting that page, this is the House of Representatives for the state of Victoria. Yep. You'll see up the top, the third line, the Commonwealth of Australia in all capitals. This is the most important piece of paper we vote for, and they can't get it right. So, Nick, can you continue scrolling down until we get to the middle section? Stop there. Okay. You will see, Wade, that there's a witness, Her Excellency the Honourable Sam Mostyn, and there's her signature. But hold on, there's no stamp, which means it's not authorised. There's no seal. This is not an official document. And then on your screen, you'll see underneath, at the bottom of the page, Don Farrell, Senator for Labor in South Australia, from South Australia, has issued the contract. He's issued this document. And Sam Mostyn is only a passenger. She's a witness to this document. She and Don Farrell have destroyed Section 32 of the Commonwealth Constitution. Okay? So, can I get you to keep on scrolling down, please, Nick? To the next document. It's got a yellow background. Now, Wade, please help me out if you can understand what I'm going to tell you and your listeners right now. The third line, I'm going to read it nice and slow because most people are not hearing this. I'll say it slowly. Charles III, in words, by the grace of God, King of Australia. I'll say that again for people who didn't hear me the first time. Charles III, in words, not Roman numerals. This is not the same guy living in Buckingham Palace. By the grace of God, King of Australia. That is not the man we think is living in Buckingham Palace. It's a corporation. I know the woman in Sydney who's registered the King of Australia as a business name. What does that actually mean? Fraud. It's fraud. There's no other word to say it. It's a fraud on the Australian people to use this language, the King of Australia, and say you're voting in a proper election, vote for this candidate or that candidate. Okay, so every election cycle, there are only 6 of the 12 senators that we vote for. So you can see that first line. We command you to cause election to be made according to the law of 6 senators of our state of Victoria. Okay, we scroll down the page a bit further, Nick. And you'll see a space, which I just showed you for Queensland. They put the royal seal for Queensland. It does not exist in Victoria. It hasn't been authorised according to law. So you've got the witness, Professor the Honourable Margaret Gardner, yada, 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 baloney, Governor of the state of Victoria. And she signs it on the left-hand side. Can you keep scrolling down, please, Nick? Stop there. Underneath, by Her Excellency's command, is Jacinta Allen. Hold on. Section 12 of the Commonwealth Constitution has no space for a politician, let alone the Premier of Victoria. This is finished. But it gets worse. Can we scroll down just a little? Oh, no, you've got it on your screen there. You've got a public servant, which I don't know who that person is, the Secretary of the Department of Premier and Cabinet, who issued the writ, who issued the contract. This is not a document of anything. It's been signed by a public servant. This is what we are voting for, Wade, you and I, in Victoria, a grand criminal fraud. A public servant has signed the document. Below the Governor of the state of Victoria, below the Premier, is signed a secretary to finish off the writ for the election of members of the Senate for Victoria. So I could keep on going, and I've done this for every state and territory in Australia. Every state is signed off by a Premier, or in Tasmania, by the Justice Minister, because the Premier was a little bit busy. So the Justice Minister signed the writ for the election of senators from Tasmania to go to Canberra. Hold on, but there are lots of people you've just mentioned, Wayne, that talk about the Constitution. I say to them, what is their answer when I've just shown you the documents for the House of Representatives and the Senate, which breaks the Constitution? And that's the reason why I say to people, you've got 2 options. I'm telling people, if you vote, you're going to sell your children's future. And some people say to me, Derek, that's a bit harsh. I don't want to get a fine. I'm going to vote anyway. And I said, good. Option number 2, vote the opposite. What do you mean? Well, if you vote blue instead of voting for red for 25 years, then you're going to throw out the existing candidate. If you vote red instead of Liberal, you're going to throw these people out of the Parliament in one day. You're going to sweep out all the junk that we have now, and they have to start again with all new people from zero, including Dutton and Albanese. Gone. If you vote the opposite. But Derek, I want to vote independent. Did you know that the independents have done deals with the Greens and the Liberals and the Labor Party to preference your votes, and you don't know about it? But I want to vote for that party or this independent. They won't do anything else except sell their votes to someone who's going to get a better chance of getting in. You do not have a vote and a right to give your vote to an independent and know it stays there. It's called the preferential voting system. No one has been able to argue against me. We have no say. So if you want to vote at all, do the complete opposite of what you did last election or the election before, and you will sweep out all the existing people in the Parliament right now. including the Lambies and the Hansons and all those people, the Duttons, the Albaneses, because I've just shown you Queensland and Victoria. It's over. It's over. That's what I'm trying to say. This is the most critical election we'll ever do because we are going to join the World Health Organization. It's already been written. I think his name's Butler, and he's already said so. Back to you, Wade.
So I just wanted to say now that for people who might be watching on YouTube, we're going to be leaving YouTube now. So we'll just be streaming on our other platforms. YouTube gets a little bit testy about some things. So before we go into the next part of what we're talking about, Derek, and we'll get into a bit of the harder stuff. So just let people know we're going to shut down our stream to YouTube now, and we'll be doing that as we speak. So look, this